All right, let's start with the big story that we are talking about at this point of time, where they are the leaders representing nearly half of the world's population. Leaders of the member states of the expanded Shanghai Cooperation Organisation are presently meeting in the Chinese coastal city of Qingdao. The Chinese President Xi Jinping has welcomed the leaders of the Shanghai Cooperation Organisation of the member states. Now, this is the second day of the summit. The leaders are holding a restricted session. Trade, terror, economic cooperation are top of the agenda. The leaders of these nations, which represent nearly about 20% of the global GDP, are meeting for the first time since the group was expanded last year. The Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also be addressing the plenary and also will meet with the presidents of Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan later in the day. So this is an extremely significant and an important meet where Prime Minister Narendra Modi is presently present. And this, remember, is the first time that India is, of course, participating in the Shanghai Cooperation Organisation as a member after it joined the Shanghai Cooperation Organisation. And there are several aspects in terms of how this grouping is going to be extremely significant. There are several issues which India, of course, will be bringing to the table. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has, of course, spoken about improved connectivity within the region, and this goes in many ways a long way in terms of trying to re-cement the ties that India has with the nations which are a part of the SCO. All right, now for more on this, we are joined in by our correspondent, Siddhant Sibil. Good morning to you, Siddhant. This is an extremely significant meet in terms of the leaders of the SCO, in fact, coming together, but also there are several sticking points. In fact, China is one of the nations that dominates the SCO, and India has got some very strong objections to the Belt and Road Initiative by China.
Well, this summit is really important because this is for the first time that India and Pakistan are participating as full-fledged members at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit. And of course, as you just said, that OBR is a contentious issue. The Indian Prime Minister will be speaking. The focus from India's side will be majorly on the issue of terror, because that's something that's impacted all the countries in the region. And secondly, on connectivity. India supports connectivity, but India doesn't support connectivity that infringes upon sovereignty of any country. So that will be something that India is expected to strongly put at the SCO summit, which is underway in China. And of course, SCO, if you talk about SCO, it's a China-led initiative. And over the years, many have been calling it as the Asian NATO. Though it shouldn't be called Asian NATO, because countries like India will be strongly independent when it comes to their own foreign policy and would not like to be inclined with any of the world powers, whether it's China or US. But of course, SCO is an idea whose time has come, and today what's happening in China will be immensely important for the entire world, because it has four important countries, Russia, China, Pakistan and India, and 5 Central Asian countries. Central is a region which is resource-rich, and of course, Central Asian region.
Absolutely indeed, Siddhant, and also considering the role that India is in fact playing here in the SCO. Now, let's not forget the fact that India is also a part of another grouping called the Quad, which essentially has been revived to try and contain China in the South China Sea region. And we also are a member of the SCO, where China has been speaking about OBOR, where it's essentially talking about its projection of power. So it is on the in balance, balancing out, being a part of an alliance with the United States, which tries to contain China, but on the other hand as well, being friends with China at the SCO. Right, we seem to have lost the line with my colleague Siddhant Sibil, but this of course is a very fine line of balance which Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in fact walking, choosing an independent policy in terms of dealing with China, not being swayed by the big power game that's presently underway in the South China Sea, but being a part of this extremely significant group. Because remember, the Shanghai Cooperation Organisation consists of several important nations which are extremely relevant in terms of energy security, in terms of dealing with terrorism, and also in terms of have several other issues in terms of trade and connectivity within the region are resolved.
A reflection of India's growing clout. Prime Minister Modi leads India at the Shanghai Cooperation Summit in Qingdao. For the first time, India participates as a full member of the SCO. Strongmen Modi, Xi and Vladimir Putin on the same platform in a move towards a multipolar world. Will India be the balancing power between Russia and China? What about Pakistan, enemy turned SCO partner? Old friends, new allies, WION special coverage straight from Qingdao all through this weekend on WION.